you're watching Muggle Mama, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.
Hey y'all, we wanted to get out a hopefully short video of just kind of our final thoughts about Diablo Immortal. I was on Dinctuary and you guys heard, if you watched it, a lot of my opinions, but husband and I wanted to go kind of in depth a little bit more together, just so you can kind of hear, like, he and I did have a few differing opinions. We want to take some time and kind of talk about some of the gameplay, which we haven't got into much depth with. You guys have heard that we liked it. It looked good. It felt good. But we want to go a little bit more in depth about some of these things and just kind of give you some of our opinions on it. So I'm going to go ahead and play a video in the background so you guys aren't just staring at the Muggle Mama screen. But this is just some footage that I recorded while I was leveling at one point, and I thought this would be good footage to watch. One, because I didn't get a chance to do any more play sessions on the monk since we were sick. We had COVID, and the kids were home for break, and then Christmas hit and New Year's, and I was just so busy. The kids were wild after they got their Christmas presents, so I didn't get any more play sessions recorded, but I did have some footage where I wasn't doing any commentary or anything. It was just I was sitting at my desk playing the game. So you're going to see some of that footage as husband and I talk. So I hope you enjoy this, and let's get to it. So at this point in the leveling process, we had defeated the Rose. What was the name of it? The Blood Rose. I'm terrible with names. I don't remember these things, so forgive me as I bumble through it. He corrects me. This is just the way it goes. So we had just defeated that, and we decided to party back up. I think one of the things that I found really frustrating with partying was before you were fully leveled, there wasn't always a clear indication on whether we were doing something in a party or if we were doing it individually. Because you would go into
like the Blood Rose event
in a party, and you had to complete it solo. And it was so frustrating.
It wouldn't tell you that you were going to be separating. We just started doing our own thing. It's like, oh, is Mama going to show up? Oh, is husband going to show up?
Yeah.
And we were in separate rooms because I had COVID. I went to bed and I was like, well, I'll just play from bed while she continues doing the streaming thing. And we weren't able to communicate effectively since we were in different floors. So that was definitely frustrating to not know why we were separated.
Yeah.
We were supposed to be, or if it was just a bug. But it happened every time, so it was clearly intended.
Yeah. So that was definitely one of the things that we were like, okay, we would like some clear indication, especially, you know, if you are leveling with a party. I think once you're done leveling, like for us, we were leveling from 1 to 45. The end of game, like the end of leveling when the game comes out, is going to be 60. And once you get to end game, it's a little bit more clear. You get to do everything together. But for the leveling process, it was not that way. And that was kind of, I don't know how D2 worked, but for me, that was not.
If you were in party, you were in party.
Okay, so like that's, to me, that was very different than the Diablo games. Like if you're leveling in a party, you level in a party, and you don't separate. So that was a little. It kind of threw me off a little bit. And I would say it's probably one of the few things that I disliked about the leveling process.
I think it's okay that they're forcing you to go solo, because I'm guessing it's partially just to mitigate power leveling. They don't want to have people just carried through to 45 and not actually have to play the game.
True.
So there's these checkpoints along the way that, oh yeah, you actually have to do this by yourself, and if you can't, you better get some gear.
Right.
So I think that's their intention. As long as they let you know you're proceeding solo at this point, you'll party back up when you're done. Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think it would be real easy when you go into something to have a box pop up and say, you know.
Like with the Zoltan Cole's archives thing.
Yeah.
But if you're going to consume your pages, it tells you if you're going to be going in with a group or solo.
Yes.
If someone else doesn't have the pages to go with you. So that's a different situation. But that's the kind of pop-up that we're looking for.
Absolutely. So I felt like the leveling process, I was kind of surprised how long it did actually take. Because I want to say it took a good 3 days for me to get to max level, playing about 2 hours a day. No?
That took longer than that.
Did it take longer than that?
Okay.
Time didn't mean anything when you were sick.
She was sick. 2 hours is like 12. It was probably, I would bet it's about 10 hours.
About 10 hours
at this point from 145, just from basic. Just from memory, not really writing anything down. I would guess about 10 hours. And there's going to be 15 additional levels later on.
Right.
And I think they're aiming for that last level to take 1 or 2 hours, just from 59 to 60.
I think they said that in the
AMA.
The AMA. And actually, I think they said 2 to 3 hours.
Okay. So they're definitely planning for that last grind to take a while.
Yeah. Which I think is cool because like the leveling process was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed the storyline of it. I really enjoyed the quests. Now, you and I leveled a little differently. Like, we always do. I really wanted to stick to the storyline. Like, as you're exploring it right now, like this footage is us defeating the Countess. But when you're going along the storyline, you're exploring these open world maps. And there are footsteps, and I think probably most of you have seen that. You can turn those off if you don't want them. I loved them because I am always getting lost no matter where I am. Like I don't remember things very well. Oh, we'll go to this place. What? I don't know where that is. Like, I still do it in D3. Like, where's that boss again? Like, there's a few that's like, oh yeah, that's Act 2, that's Act 5. But there's a few of them that I'm like, I don't know. I gotta go search through the maps to find out where this boss is. And just the way my brain works, or doesn't work, I suppose. And so I was like, follow the footsteps, follow the footsteps, follow the footsteps. And I'm going to go to the next quest part. And he's off, like, I don't know.
Killing an elite. Shiny, let's go.
Shiny.
And that's the more natural, old school Diablo method was, you could see something go kill, you go do it. If it was just a regular mob, no, but if I saw a yellow pop up on the map or something,
yeah,
at least mean potential better loot.
So
that's what I went for.
By the time we got closer to the end of the leveling process, he was actually...
We had separated our playtime at that point.
Yeah, we had separated our playtime, and he actually got a little bit further than I did because of that. So, there were...
I was further level-wise when we finished the campaign.
Yes. And so
there's more side content.
There's a point that you hit that they're like, you can't move forward until you hit level 40. And then, okay, you finished the storylines, you need to get to level 45. And he was closer to those endpoints than I was.
Yeah. Because part of I would go find an elite and, oh, there's a lair over there. What's that? So you would do that too, and that would give you more experience, more loot. The game definitely encourages, or it rewards exploration, for sure.
It does.
It's not always clear because they're giving you these footsteps, and if your brain's wired, I gotta follow footsteps, you're gonna lose out on these things and not even know what it is.
Yeah, and it was a little frustrating to me. I've mentioned this before, but really, Diablo 3 is the only ARPG game that I've ever played. Mm-hmm. I tried Wolcen the first day it came out, and I don't even think I went back into it a second time. Like, I think I was like one and done. No, I'm not doing this.
I played it a few days.
I didn't enjoy it. And so, like, this experience was definitely new to me, and I think that was good because if they're trying to pull in people from the mobile side, you know, and these people have never played an ARPG. Their experience is going to be a little bit more on level with what I had. Now, granted, I have Diablo 3 experience, so there are definitely things that I understood that I think are going to be lost on some new people who've never played an ARPG.
But you only have Diablo 3 experience.
But I only have Diablo 3 experience. And so I could see it being really frustrating for new people coming from a mobile side and trying to follow these quest lines and then go, wait, I have to hit level 30 before I can move on. How do I do that? I don't know what I'm doing. And they're just going to walk around for a while and then quit. And
it's not always clear in the current state of what gives experience and what doesn't, because like challenge rifts, that was a fun leaderboard based content. It gave you no experience at all.
Yeah.
So even though it was fun to do and it was a great time killer and it was really rewarding in terms of what you could get if you were on the leaderboard at the end.
Yeah.
If you were leveling, it did nothing for you.
Yeah.
But that wasn't clear.
Yeah. So they're like, and I know part of ARPGs is, you know, discovering the best way to do things, and I definitely understand, but
Diablo 2 had less handholding than what it has now.
Yeah. But I also wonder if maybe there's something that can be done maybe even earlier in the game before you get to this point where the grind becomes a little bit more difficult. Because if they're talking like level 59 to 60 is going to take 3 hours, that's a lot of time commitment. And if you have somebody who's never played an ARPG, they're going to be going, why am I not 60 yet? Or what do I have to do to get to 60? And that could potentially lose a lot of people in this game. The ARPG people who love the grind of a game are going to love it 100%. But I could see it causing some confusion for new people. And granted,
all it really needs to do is either add more quests so that when you finish the campaign, you're going to already be at the right levels.
Right.
Or if you do get through your part of the campaign you can do and you need a higher level to continue, then they could just put a note. It would say, I always had things like check the action log or activities for more things to do.
Yeah.
It could just say, in order to increase your level, do activities.
Yeah.
And then boom.
Yeah.
Then that points you towards bounties, Elder Rift, which is pretty much all there was to do anyway. But
yeah, for us,
there's going to be more when the game is live. But at this point, that was pretty much all we had to do for non-endgame content.
Yeah.
And endgame was pretty much just Elder Rift.
Yeah.
Which I'm not clear that's going to always be there.
I don't think so.
I didn't think so. Some people thought it was. I don't think it's always.
I don't. Based on how I took it from the AMA, that was just the event they gave us.
Yeah.
And
events are supposed to change monthly, I believe.
Yeah, and moving forward, like, because you're going to have a different battle pass every month. They're talking about doing it monthly, so there'll be a new event every month to complete. Yeah. And they talked about like themed, like a special Halloween event, you know, kind of think something like the Darkening of Tristram, which is going on right now, something more on that order and stuff like that. So that'll be really cool. But
anniversary event.
What I was going to say though about the leveling is I do think they did a really good job, the 1 through 10 leveling. Yes. And explaining how the controls work and how to talk to people and where to find your inventory, your stash, and all that stuff. Like, I thought they did a really good...
It made the game pretty intuitive start.
Yeah.
And 1 to 10 went really fast.
It did. It went really fast.
You had most of your skills pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And that helped a lot.
Yeah. Now, it'll be interesting. And I don't know, did anyone ask the question, with every event, do you need to level a new character?
Every month? No.
Okay.
I think they are doing seasons of some kind.
Okay.
But I don't think that's going to be monthly. That'd be very, very ambitious.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, there's going to be 6 classes when the game comes out. And as of right now, every time you level a new character, you do have to go through that tutorial again. And I was thinking, it'd be really frustrating if you had to do it monthly or every other month. That's going to be frustrating, but at the same time, it does go fast. But,
doing the content's fine. All you need is an option to turn off the tutorial commentary, basically.
Yeah.
Just let you play it.
Yeah.
So, and most games do that. I'm sure they will eventually. But they want to make sure people didn't get left behind.
Yeah. Now, I wish they had spent a little bit more time on this page.
Codex?
The Codex. When
it's a bit of a mess.
In it's done well. Don't misunderstand me. Once you understand what you're doing.
That's a lot of tapping through.
And even then, you could kind of see, I was kind of going back and forth. Wait a minute, what am I supposed to do with these things? I think some more clear direction on how to use the Codex would be nice, especially in that battle pass area, because there is the activity log, and it's just this little tiny thing down at the bottom that I didn't even know existed at one point, and I think I had all of them filled out, and I was like, oh, oops.
All kinds of extra bonus
and
points.
so I got all this extra bonus stuff, but it was like, then I could have been working on other things, and it was like, okay. So
there's lots of little places that you find
rewards, yeah,
instead of being kind of a cohesive system,
which is fine. I mean, it is in tune with how many mobile games do work, based on my experience.
It's not a big deal,
but
sometimes you'll have that red dot in the corner on the 3 lines menu button. And I can't figure out why the dot's there. The dot means that there's some reward you can collect somewhere. But you'll click through for 3 minutes and I can't find it. And other streamers, we know, we're like, we can't find it. And another streamer would have to pop into the stream and be like, oh yeah, I had this too. And it's probably this one because it was buried under the battle pass or whatever. Like, oh yeah, that's the one thing.
So
it's not just us. It's a lot of people are finding the rewards buried. The menu's a little too much.
And it's one of those things that a tutorial going through it when you get to Westmarch might be a good idea, because at the same time, levels 1 through 25, 30-ish, whatever, to get to Westmarch, whatever, however long that takes you, there's a lot. You're learning a lot about how the system works. You're learning a lot about the skills. You're learning, you're in a party, you're out of a party, you have to talk to these people, you're paying attention to the story.
Learning how to upgrade your gear.
Because you can
literally upgrade your gear slot.
Which, again, I forgot it was something you could do. I was like, I did it the first time they told me, and then I didn't open it again. And then after I hit endgame, I was like, why can't I go up to the next level of difficulty? They're not letting me do things on this difficulty because I'm in endgame and I should automatically go to Hell 1.
You can't play normal when you're in a game, but shouldn't have the damage to play Hell 1, and those are the only 2 options right now.
And
except Hell 2, which is obviously worse.
I forgot that I could upgrade my gear more, coming from Diablo 3, where the only time you upgrade your gear is when you actually get a better piece of gear or you augment it.
Yeah.
And so it was a different process of leveling up a character, and I had to eventually break it down and be like, oh, okay, this is how I have to do each piece, and it can go up a level. And but it took me a day and a half to figure that out. I was playing this game going, I don't know what to do now. Maybe I just need more Paragon.
And I wasn't at end game yet, so I was able to be like, well, clearly you forgot to do this, because I couldn't. I had no experience to give her any pointers.
Yeah. So it would be kind of nice if there was a little refresher when you first got to Westmarch. Maybe.
I think a Codex refresher would be good, at least.
I feel like it would be good.
But there's a lot when you get to Westmarch already, because they're showing you where bounties are and how to travel to other places, and here's charge, and here's where you can do your gem stuff. And
true.
So there's already a lot tutorial type stuff going on. Maybe they thought it would be too much to add on more.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Another Codex run through or something like that would be good, though. Something to really refresh the memory, because it just, I think new people are really going to get frustrated. And I guess that's one thing is, I wonder if there was anyone in the technical alpha testing that had never played an ARPG.
Yes.
Was there?
Yes.
And how did they do with it?
Lots of questions.
They had lots of questions. Okay. And so that's like a concern too. Like, if you want to bring people in, like, I'm kind of looking at, like, it's a Diablo game. And it's amazing. We're going to get more story. Like, Nineball is so excited for more lore, right? Like, because this...
What, people just click through the story without reading it? How dare they?
Like, this bridges Diablo 2 and Diablo 3. That's going to be amazing. So many people are going to love it.
Teens alive, yeah.
But the goal, from my understanding, is to open the doors to new people who have never played a Diablo game.
It's gonna be your gateway drug. Essentially.
Yeah. So
either for us Diablo people into mobile gaming, or for mobile gamers into Diablo.
And so they have a really delicate balance that they're trying to work with here.
Yeah. You can't go too hardcore ARPG, but you can't go too hardcore mobile, because you're going to alienate one side or the other.
Yeah.
So it's tricky. And I think, honestly, it's pretty close.
It is.
Amount.
I think so. Thankfully, I do have enough experience with mobile gaming that I've felt like I picked up on it fine. Where I was really lacking was in the ARPG experience. Like...
You had more mobile gaming experience, obviously, than me. I do play some games regularly, but not as many as you do. And I think you had a lot more mobile game experience than most of the Diablo 3 content creators.
Yeah.
Obviously, they did have some mobile specials, and that's where that the one person I'm sure of that did not ever play Diablo before, or any RPG before, she was a mobile gamer.
Okay.
I think it's she. Which was smart. They didn't bring in mobile people.
Yeah.
We can get that unbiased opinion.
Yeah.
Like, well, no, I've never played a game like this at all, but I know mobile.
Yeah.
Where we, in general, the Diablo community, we know ARPGs, we don't know mobile.
Yeah.
So getting both sides, smart move.
It was, for sure. So, talking about mobile games, I've played a lot of mobile games. A lot. And I almost hate to say what I'm about to say, but I have an app that pays me to play mobile games, and I get Amazon gift cards through it. And so I play so many games. Now, all of those games that I play through this app that I use, I have never spent a penny on them. They're always free.
There's always options to pick.
There's always options to buy stuff, and that's obviously their goal, because I'm sure that's how they get their money to pay you.
Yeah.
So I've played horrible pay-to-win games that I never do. I always play the games for free. But I do have 2 main games that I play that are not part of that app. And one of them is the Harry Potter Hogwarts mystery game.
Oh, I thought that was on the app too. No?
I started playing it before I played that app. On that app. So
I knew that.
So I did get credit for playing the game, but I mean, I was playing that beforehand. So I've been playing this Harry Potter game for, goodness, probably years now.
I tried it out. That was years ago.
Yeah. I took a little break from it, but I did go back to it. And it would be considered a RPG, I believe, right?
Sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah.
It's an energy-based game. which is always kind of
That's like the big fear people had for Immortal.
absolutely. Energy-based games can be really rough because you spend your energy and then you have to wait. And of course, they
That's why I quit.
prompt you to buy more energy, like that's the big microtransaction for it. Now, I never paid a penny for energy ever. I mean, like I said, I've been playing the game a long time, and about 6 or 8 months ago, they finally introduced their own battle pass system. And there's not obviously, I'm sorry. There are different currencies in the game, and I just realized what's going on screen. You guys get to see the guild interaction in the game, and apparently it doesn't let you swear.
Yeah.
So.
And that was my response with that. Letters are okay. So hopefully that's not. I guess there's probably some version of filter they'll put on, whether or not it's like a hard filter.
Yeah.
Like right now on Battle.net games, you can put a filter on. Type to you.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was just trying to say woot. I wasn't even trying to swear. Never mind. WOOT is my new phone.
Oh my gosh. Back to
sorry
the
battle pass for
the battle pass. Harry Potter came out with a battle pass system, and they have currency. They have a currency system in their game, right? You can earn energy, you can earn gems, based on completing class assignments, basically, and doing this quest and that quest. And it's been like 6 or 8 months, and they do give you the option to purchase the battle pass with in-game currency.
No.
And it's like 275 gems, and you can purchase the battle pass, or you spend $5 and you purchase the battle pass.
So you can theoretically grind out the battle pass.
And I have bought the battle pass once. I've been able to grind out the gems every single month. Sometimes I hit it on the last day of the battle pass, but all the rewards backtrack. So once you hit all the experience and then you hit that button and say, okay, I've got the gems, you get all of the rewards for it.
So that's kind of like the World of Warcraft tokens, I think they're called.
Okay.
You can use gold to buy tokens, which you can sell for real money, or you can use real money to buy tokens, which you can sell for gold. But if you can use gold to get a token and then sell that for real money, then you can use that to pay for your subscription.
Okay.
So there are people out there that just gold find like crazy, and they don't have to actually pay for their sub.
So, and I don't know if Immortal's going to have a system like that. Like if you...
That would be platinum.
It would be I would think it would have to be platinum.
You can sell items on their auction house, basically.
Yeah.
I think it's called an auction house. Maybe. I don't know.
They
have an auction house. You can't use real money for it. You can use this in-game currency called platinum, which
Right.
We were getting it as daily rewards. Whether that will continue, who knows? Initially, we were not getting that as a daily reward. That changed at some point.
Yeah.
First, we were getting other stuff. And
I think the first week we got other stuff, and then they just moved it to platinum.
I think the first week it was actually, what do you call them? The Rift Key thing.
Okay.
Where, you know what I'm talking about.
I do. The crests?
Crests, yes. I think the first week was rare crests and occasionally legendary crest. Second week went through all platinum and stayed all platinum. So platinum will be purchasable with real money. They've said that. And then you can either use that. So you could either buy platinum to buy items, or you could sell items to get platinum. So if you could then use platinum to buy battle pass, then in theory
you could grind the items, sell the items, and then purchase the battle pass.
As long as other people are spending money.
Right.
So.
And I mean, I think I gotta believe there's going to be a balance on that, and a way. I hope there's a way for them to do that, because
the other side of this is it depends on how much the battle pass costs.
True. So the other game I play, and this game you play too, is Mario Kart Tour, and you can there's a subscription. It's a monthly subscription, and it's essentially a battle pass. And it's $5 a month. It's something we both do because the rewards are just too great to not do it.
You can play free for sure.
Absolutely.
But you get a lot out of that $5 a month.
You do.
Now, they also sell you rubies. And that is horrifically expensive.
It's so expensive.
And they'll just sell you like a character pack for $40. That's insane.
It's insane.
Because you can get them randomly in game for free. And it's not that hard to get them, usually.
No.
So, like, their straight money costs are horrible. But their Battle Pass type thing, $5, yeah, I'd do that.
Yeah, $5. And I want to say there's been 3 times that I've purchased something in that app. And it's always been $1.99 glider, and I want to say I did like a $2.99 something at one point. They had some,
yeah,
which I mean in a way is kind of smart. They offer these massive packages for these people who can spend $200 a month.
Everything's $40. Well, this one's only $2.
This one's only $2. It's like buy, you know, and so I'm sure they did. So, you know, it kind of makes sense that, like, you know, they do things like that. And, I mean, it got me. I was like, yeah, I want that for $2. Like,
I know, like, they do, that game does New Year's glider every year.
Yep.
I bought it last year because it needed a glider. This year, I didn't need a glider.
I bought it. I had to have it. I'm like, I have last year's. I need to have this year's. It's kind of like, but it's kind of like, you know, if you don't regularly go to BlizzCon, but you buy the virtual ticket because you want all of those BlizzCon goodies.
Those wings, man.
You got to get the wings. You got to get this. Like, I need the pet that says that I got the BlizzCon virtual ticket. So it's kind of the same thing. And, you know, it'll be...
And looking at the preview of what the rewards are on the Battle Pass, it looks like it's good rewards.
Absolutely.
So if it's $5-10 a month, I would do it.
Absolutely.
As long as I'm playing regularly. If I'm not playing regularly, I'd cancel it.
Yeah.
But if I'm playing a couple hours a day, I would do it.
And it might be something like, you know, Mario Kart Tour does a subscription, whereas, like, the Harry Potter game that I play does not.
Because you can pay for it in game currency.
Right.
Pay for it with in-game currency.
Yes. So, you know, it'll be interesting to see how they do it.
Yeah, there have been a few times I was like, I should cancel that Mario Kart thing. 2 days later, I forgot to cancel it. I guess I'll keep it moving. And I just don't cancel it. So.
Well, and I mean, you definitely kind of go through like waves with the game where you'll go like, you'll log in every day to get your daily reward, but then you don't really play it much. And then you'll have like a week that you play it nonstop. And
not nonstop, but I'll catch up on all the stuff I didn't do.
Yeah.
Because I've got downtime. My work tends to be sporadic, like my downtime.
Yeah.
So during the day, that's usually when I would play the game.
And I play a lot of games, especially with virtual school going on right now. While I'm sitting at the table and making sure the kids are paying attention to their teachers, I'm on my phone going, hey, listen.
Yeah.
Hey, no, don't get up. So, like...
Yeah. And I have a lot less downtime during the day now with my new job. So that's why I was like, oh, I'll just cancel this game. But it's $5.
Yeah.
It's one screen.
Yeah. So... whether Immortal will be $5 or $10, I don't think it'll... I can't imagine it'll be more than that. I can't either. I mean, and it's...
If it is more than that, then that's a big blunder on their side, I think.
Yeah. So, you know, as far as the Battle Pass goes, I think they've got that. I think it's looking really good. I think the rewards are going to be worth purchasing it. Yeah. And then they're talking about, you know, cosmetics, which will be cool. Like, they're talking about, you know... like themed cosmetics, like if you can get...
They're not going to sell individual pieces as cosmetics. It'll be like a whole skin.
Yeah.
So you only buy skins, not like mix and match pieces like what we do in Diablo 3, where we can change your breastplate to be one thing and your helmet to be another thing.
Right.
This is you purchase this particular skin.
Yeah. So that could be really cool.
The other thing to note is none of us had access to the paid Battle Pass or paid Platinum, paid anything. everything we did in game during the beta the alpha, was entirely just ground out.
Yeah.
There was no pay to win in alpha.
Right.
So, whether there is some pay to win in the release game, that remains to be seen. It kind of hinges on legendary crests at this point.
Yes. Which is something that is obviously a hot topic right now with the game. Like, that seems to be everybody's concern.
And the other flip side is they don't have a real money auction house, but you can buy stuff with platinum if you can buy with money. Which means that technically it's kind of a real money house.
Right.
Assuming I have it right, I believe platinum is supposed to be a purchasable currency.
Okay. The flip side of it is, you know, we don't know how they're going to play into other events.
Mm-hmm.
We
They
only
may not always be a leaderboard.
Yeah, we only know how they are associated right now with getting your legendary gems. We don't know. I mean, obviously having your legendary gems leveled is huge.
Need something reforged?
But, you know, as far as like this event is the challenge rift event and the top 10 people get these rewards.
Which then also grants you more power.
Yeah.
Well done.
You know, there's a concern there. In the grand scheme of things, the people who do buy all the legendary crests and say they get their gems leveled up, I don't think it necessarily means that they're going to be the top 10 people of every leaderboard.
No.
Like, because you have to have skill to do that.
The people that pay all the money don't necessarily know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So.
And I do feel like that's something that...
Yeah, ARPGs do definitely require a certain level of skill just to pull things off.
Yeah.
And
like,
money can only go so far.
So, you know, say, you know, you're playing Diablo 3, right? And I'm playing the Frenzy Barb. And I have 2,000 Paragon, right? I'm going to go in and I'm going to do, I don't know, 120. Give husband the same map, the same gear, the same Paragon, the same mobs, and he's gonna do that better than I do. Because his skill on that is better than me.
Conversely with Veers, you're gonna get combo.
So
it plays to each player.
Yeah. And so I think there's something to be said that just because you have better gear or you have better gems doesn't necessarily mean that if you're a good player, you can't compete with it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, look at
D3 leaderboards.
I was gonna say,
I'll see people like, how did you do worse than me on the leaderboard? You've got 2,000 more Paragon. That doesn't make sense. Well, they kind of suck. I mean,
no,
the
the flip side of it, what that I was gonna say is, look at people like Leviathan and Blood and Tuba, people who mostly play solo, and they're competing with the leaderboards. Tuba just got rank 1 on the hardcore DH tonight. Yep. Solo. You know there are people running rat runs on hardcore and have way more Paragon than he has.
Mm-hmm. Well, shoot, I've had a top 10, top 12 guard.
Top 10, I think. But
I had a top 10 guard with what I have, like 1,600 Paragon probably.
Yeah. So
not like I can grind like crazy. I've got kids. So skill has a certain weight that you can't just buy.
And so I think allowing legendary crests to be purchasable, it does kind of suck. It is kind of a concern.
Yeah.
But if you're talking about the people in the mobile world who are not necessarily going to know Diablo and know what they're doing, it may not mean much for the game. You know, and we're not going to know more until I think we hit another beta and we get more information. And I will say, like, during the AMA, there were definitely questions about the legendary crests and the microtransactions that kind of got glossed over.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that was intentional. Just because no need to open a can of worms if they don't have the answer yet.
Yeah. Well, I think one thing I can do to really minimize that risk is just increase the drop rate of legendary gems in Elder Rift without legendary crest. Legendary crest grants a guaranteed gem. Awesome.
Yeah.
Right now, the drop rate without a crest is horrifically low. It's like 1 in 100 rifts.
Yeah.
So that's not an exact number, but I know it's more than 1 in 50 because Lex did 50 in a row and didn't get any.
Right.
So the drop rate is extremely low. And say those rifts take you 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's 150 minutes, 2.5 hours, not a single legendary gem.
Yeah.
And you have to get the same legendary gems multiple times to level up your gems. So if you don't get any gems from doing Elder Rifts, it doesn't really feel like you should be doing Elder Rifts unless you have crests right.
Right.
So just increasing that drop rate to something more manageable would go a long way towards mitigating the pay-to-win factor.
Yeah.
So there are definitely things they can do to make it so that if you want to pay money, you can, and that'll make them money, and that's the whole point of making a game.
Yeah. Or
but if you don't want to pay money, it doesn't feel horrible.
Or the flip side is they cap how many legendary crests you can purchase in an event.
Yeah.
You know, do it with the event. It resets every month when the new event starts. Mm-hmm. You can now purchase 50 legendary crests or whatever the number is.
Yep, that's another good option.
And then people who have the time to grind can just do it for free. And I mean, that's the way like my Harry Potter game works. If I have the time to grind it and I can build up the current in-game currency myself, that's what I do. I'll do it for free. If I don't, then I pay the $5 and I buy the battle pass. But, you know, so there are definitely ways that they can even that out. And I gotta believe that that's part of the reason that they kind of glossed over this stuff is because they don't have the answers yet.
Yeah, which is also why they didn't enable it for the alpha.
Right.
Because, and plus they don't want to take money right now and have to like give it back or keep track of it for when they do go live. That's a nightmare.
Oh yeah, for
when
sure.
They're at like a real, if it was an open beta, then it becomes pretty easy because they've already got the account system worked out and they can just refund you the money and use it toward the next game.
Right.
Or the live game. And I've seen that done before.
Yeah.
So, but right now it didn't make any sense to make anything paid.
Mm-hmm.
And you already had Leviathan clearing, what, an 86 or 87?
Yeah, something very high.
And that was skill cap. You had the time to grind it out.
Yep.
Got tons of Paragon.
It was almost too bad that we got the alpha when we did because it was right when the kids went on break. So all that time that I normally play cell phone games was gone. It was like,
and
no.
We had COVID, so we had no energy. We had family events, obviously. Or not obviously, we had COVID. When COVID was over, then we had family stuff to do. And
granted, my family, we all had COVID. So
but your sister's husband somehow did not.
It was wild.
So until they got done with his family stuff, we couldn't see them either, which was obviously the way to go.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was.
So yeah, for us timing wise, and I had just started a new job, so I couldn't slack off.
If it was
my old job, I would have been like, yeah. See ya.
I want to play this game so bad, and I didn't get a chance to. I was like, man.
I ended up quitting my other job early just to have an easier first week of Diablo 3 season anyway. So kind of burned that.
Oh, here we're talking about the gems.
Yep. So these are what the legendary gems look like.
Yes, they're very different than D3 for sure. So I was like, what does this mean?
Power wise, they're kind of similar.
Yeah.
In the way that they work. What's different is so all your main 6 pieces of gear, each one can get a legendary gem in it.
Yes.
So you can actually have 6 instead of just 3.
Yeah.
Or 4, 5 if you want to use the helmet. These, but 3.
And so at the beginning of this, I didn't realize that I could just click the name of the vendor in town and navigate to it. I was still walking at that point.
On the map.
Uh-huh.
I always just walked because I liked it.
I did the auto navigate. I loved the auto navigate. It was amazing. So
I did auto navigation if it was a long way to travel, but if it was in a town, I would just walk.
no, I did it in the small mini town. So the way like the maps are set up, right? Like you have Westmarch, which is your big main hub, is your city. And you can auto navigate to all these places. It was really cool. But then you have all these little areas, like Bilefin and Bilefin.
It's been said both ways. I don't know.
They had like little mini towns where you can salvage your gear. You can identify. It was interesting. The Herodric's altar, right? The bestiary.
Yeah.
That was not a Westmarch. You had to go because and it kind of made sense because you could only get the monster orbs in the towns. You couldn't get them in Westmarch, so why would you need the altar in Westmarch? But
essentially, yeah.
I was really confused the first time I saw that little quest, and I was like already back in Westmarch by the time I saw it. I was like, wait, where do I go? I can't find it. It was like,
a number of times you would see in chat, hey, where's the bestiary? Oh, there's not one.
There's not one.
What? Why? There's all this space with nothing in it. Well, yeah. Because there's more stuff coming later that we don't know about yet.
Yeah. And that's just it, too.
Like that whole church off to the right side?
Yeah.
That's clearly going to be something. But there's nothing there right now.
I know. We took a group picture.
Yeah. That's where we met for the AMA.
So,
it's a big city, really.
Yeah.
And right now it seems kind of sparse because we're like 20 of us playing at a time.
Yeah.
But as the player base grows into a real beta and live situation,
yeah,
we'll see a lot of activity.
I got to imagine that we'll get if we have guild members in that town, we'll see it'll prioritize your guild, your friends, maybe location based.
Yeah, they said that. I think with the layering, it would be you'll see more near you, but you only see a certain number of people near you, so they'll prioritize different levels of interaction.
So there were a lot of things that I did get that I never used in the game. And like I don't know. I don't know if it was because we just had a smaller testing server that it was an issue, or if it was because we were just behind in the game or what. But they had those big chests that required 4 people to open. And I don't remember what they were called.
It was large something chest.
So it required 4 people to open it.
Like large bountiful chest, something like that.
Something like that. There were things like that. And then apparently there were some things that I could have been using in a party that would have increased our magic find.
Oh, really?
And I didn't know that. And I didn't discover it because you and I didn't end up playing much at the end together because just, you were back to work and I was dealing with kids and whatever. And so we were playing at different times. And so I was running solo all the time. And I was like, I don't want to use this solo. It makes more sense to use it in a party. But I didn't get a chance to. So there were definitely things that, and I don't know if it's just because I didn't explore enough or we didn't party enough or, it was, and going back to those large chests, that's where I was going first and I deviated. I didn't feel like we had enough time to get people.
We come across one, we would message the guild or world or whatever.
Yeah.
Say, hey, we've got a large bountiful chest, whatever it's called. We need 2 more people. And sometimes nobody would respond and it would just peter out.
And like I said,
other times people would respond and we'd send them invites, but before they could even get to us, it would be gone.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, well, if you're not exploring in a 4-man party, you have no shot at this.
Right. And so that felt kind of bad.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the time frame on it was.
It's like a minute or maybe 2.
But it felt like, unless they're planning on like when the servers get really full, that people are like invite.
Yeah, people nearby.
I mean, the flip side of it is sometimes it takes 30 seconds just to send a freaking message.
Yeah, this is mobile.
Because it's mobile.
Hit enter, type in your keyboard, enter. You
Yeah.
gotta pull up mobile chat, type on your little keyboard, realize you messed up 4 of the words because it's a mobile chat.
Yeah.
And you had to type landscape. I never type on my phone landscape. It's always in portrait mode.
Yeah.
So the spacing was not what I'm used to.
Yeah.
Typing for me was a chore.
So I think like
There is voice chat in the game, but you have to already be in a party.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, especially, I mean, we're streamers, so maybe that's perfect. But like, I don't play games with my sound on, ever.
You don't.
Never. Like, that's not something I do. So even if I'm in a party chat, I am not going to have sound on. So like, I mean, I'm a mom. I have to have my ears open for my kids, you know. It's different when I sit down and I stream at night because my kids are sleeping. But if I'm playing this game during the day, I'm not going to have headphones on and a microphone and going, hey, I have this large chest or whatever it is. I need, like, I'm not going to be doing that. Yeah. So
and if we are in a situation like that, we're probably just going to be at our desk on Discord.
Right.
Not using it.
But there probably needs to be a little bit more time on things like that if they are going to be time activated.
Yeah.
And you need a group for them because that, you know, if you want to try your guild first or your friends first, like,
yeah,
you know, kind of like when you do bounties in D3 and you're like, hey, 2 spots remaining for bounties. You go to your friends first, or you go to your clan first, and you go to a community, and, you know, and so.
You got a hierarchy.
Yeah.
Like, all right, these people don't get it. Well, the next coolest group is this one. So.
But it's going to feel bad if you feel rushed for time and you just do it to the general server, and then.
Yeah.
You know, then your friend's like, why didn't you message me? I wanted it. Well, it's like, because there's not enough time to message different tiers. So that could be something that like could probably be improved. And these are little things, obviously, but these are things that I noticed because I play in a party, you know, and there are definitely things that, you know, I don't think Blood played in a party at all, except for PvP.
Yeah.
So I don't think Fluffy did. I never saw a P-Child on, so he must have played solo.
He likes to play solo and everything.
Right, and so does Leviathan.
Yeah. But he did group up for experience sometimes and lair hunting. Lair hunting,
yeah. So, but at the same time, like, if you're a solo player, you know, this is gonna hurt you if you don't have enough time to find a group.
Yeah.
You know,
and PvP was the same way.
And PvP now.
Plus, we were just behind the ball on it anyway, so by the time we finally got the PvP zone, we had no shot at ever getting anything.
And it was like,
so the people with the power already were the ones getting the guaranteed legendaries. I only got, I think, 4 of my slots with legendary items in them the whole time, maybe 3.
I got more than you did, but I was able to play
some
more.
Extra gear, but it was all because the slots I already had or duplicate gear. So I never got all legendary, all rare. My gear was not that good. I never had time to get it that way. I never got the guaranteed legendary. That was a huge thing.
Yeah. The PvP was, I could see the potential in it.
But being late to the party, and
there
was no way for us to even participate.
It took us so long to hit max level, really. I mean, we were
compared to everybody else.
Compared to everybody else, we took so long to get to max level. And to the point that I didn't even realize that there were different levels of the PvP. I didn't realize that if you were in normal going to the PvP, that you were only with people who were on normal. And same with Hell 1 and same with... Because so the different levels for us were normal, Hell 1, and Hell 2. I think there's going to be more when it opens.
It's weird to me that it call it normal Nightmare, Hell. Because that's the usual starting 3 for Diablo. So I gotta believe there will probably be a Nightmare in between Hell and Hell 1. Or Hell and normal.
Okay.
Or whatever. But yeah, there were only 3 difficulties.
Yeah.
At this point.
So... I didn't realize that it wasn't just everybody, because I knew by the time we got to PvP, Leviathan and Echo Hack were already running Hell 2 easily.
Mm-hmm.
And so we walked into one of these PvPs and Leviathan and Echo Hack were there and we're like, fuck, we're dead. Because
and it was instant.
Because they were already in a group of 3, so they couldn't invite, and they knew when he and I walked in together, we were obviously in a party, so we just had to fight them.
Why didn't just invite me?
Wow. Nice husband. Very nice.
Been real.
Leviathan, do you see this? He's on your side.
I just expect the bully. Yeah.
Anyway, I didn't realize that they had dropped down a level because it was easier for them to drop down a level and guarantee the PvP chest than to stay in Hell 2 and fight against people at their level.
Right.
And our server was really small, and so I'm trying to keep that in mind. But it's like, that's going to feel really bad if that is allowed to happen when the servers are full. Someone who's Hell 2... like one-shotting drops down to normal so they don't have to compete against Hell 2 people, and then all these people who are starting out new in the game and they can't do anything and they don't have a chance.
Yeah.
You know, that's gonna feel bad.
Yeah.
It's kind of like getting sniped in WoW. You know,
Yeah,
people who
it's
just
part of why
like
I've
sit
never
out.
gotten into PvP. Wow, I can't stand it.
Yeah, and I mean, it's part of the reason I've never progressed further in WoW, because I'm like, oh, I'm not doing that. Like, it just feels bad. So I don't know how that's going to look down the road, you know?
PvP has potential, but whether there's some kind of like maximum damage you could do against other humans, or I
don't know.
You gotta figure out a way to not just one-shot everybody.
Yeah.
Because that's the reality. Demon Hunters multi-shot, just
yeah,
kill everybody off screen. Don't worry about it.
Well, and they figured out like the best way to do it. Like, there was an efficient way to PvP. Mm-hmm. And, you know, they were talking about like they switched their gear, and I never changed my gear. Like, what I had on was what I ran. Like, I didn't have a different build for...
Well, you never played Diablo 3 without the armory, did you?
No, I did not.
It used to be, oh, I'm going to support Barb instead of the DPS Barb. Hang on, I gotta change all my gear, change all my skills. Does it all look right? Do I have the right gems in? Now you just click a button. But that's how it used to be.
Okay.
That's how it still is on Diablo 2. You know, like...
Well, what I was going to say is I don't think I got far enough in Immortal to be like, oh, hey.
No, we didn't have enough good other pieces of gear to make different builds. This is what we have to build around.
Yeah. I was almost to a point that I probably could have done like pseudo support monk, because there was definitely some healing that I could have done, but I never got a chance to even try it. So
yeah.
Unfortunately, like I said, if the alpha had come while the kids were in school, I could have knocked it out of the park. I would have had a lot more playtime.
Yep.
But it just didn't work out that way, unfortunately. So, but, you know, and that's something to consider too, you know? I mean, you're looking at someone who was able to put in maybe 3 hours a day compared to people who put in 12, 13 hours a day.
Yeah.
And there's a big difference there.
We have a much more casual viewpoint on how we were able to play compared to people that were able to do a lot.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, the people who were able to play 13 hours a day got to really test and see how they could try and break the game.
Yeah.
And that was really important. And the flip side of it is, you know, they got to try and break the game, and they kind of got to break our spirits because like, it was like, well, shit, I can't do that. But, you know, so it'll be interesting to see how they do end up balancing everything coming out of this. You know, like I see so much on both sides of, you know, the experienced ARPGs and the mobile gamers. Like I see both sides of it, and there's got to be a meet in the middle, and they're doing a really good job of getting there. But
yeah, and they're taking a ton of feedback.
Tons. So
I'm very hopeful.
I am too. I think it's gonna be a really good game, guys. I really do. That was interesting. Your teammate has a new quest.
Which would be just a random quest that happened, and it was always just like kill 20 enemies in the area.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't tell you what it was. Do you want to join this quest? I guess so.
And the strange thing was, oh no, you're the party leader that time. Why were you? I thought I was the party leader. How did you get to be the party leader?
I couldn't tell.
I think the little banner next to your name that says 1 means you're the party leader.
Yeah.
So
I think we had to separate for something.
oh, did we? Okay.
I can't remember why.
Now this is a
legend.
legendary elite. He's red. Right?
I don't know.
Maybe?
The so-called legendary elites that guarantee drop legendaries, they didn't drop any legendaries, so I don't know.
I got a couple out of him. Or maybe those were orange.
I don't know. Colors.
No, I'm getting confused.
Here's my other.
Yeah.
My biggest feedback: give me icons. I cannot deal with colors. I'm colorblind.
Yeah.
So I couldn't tell what color gem slots were on anything. I couldn't tell whether. I don't know how many colors of elites there were. If I was seeing things properly or not.
Yeah.
I need icon.
There were blues and yellows.
Obviously.
There were reds.
Mm-hmm.
Were there oranges?
I don't know. I'm colorblind.
I don't remember.
So Blizzard in general does a very good job with colorblindness.
Mm-hmm.
They usually give us icons and colorblind options, and you can use filters on like Overwatch, stuff like that. So I expect that they will figure something out because it's in their blood to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish that it was already there.
I
Like,
mean,
I've never played without icons showing. I don't like icons on my gear that drops on the floor in Diablo 3. It drives me crazy. I don't want those icons. I want the icons in your inventory screen. I'd say this one's legendary. This one's set. They look
Yeah.
the same to me. Or like sets and rares, they look nice.
well, that's because they're orange and green.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the orange legendaries are a star, whereas the green set pieces are an asterisk, I believe.
Yes.
So
But the green legendary, so set pieces versus rares, to me, they're the same color.
okay.
So that's a big thing, because obviously in Diablo
Yeah.
3, sets are super powerful. In Immortal, they don't exist yet. I don't think they're going to.
I don't think so.
At this stage, they do not exist, and I don't think they're planning on it.
Yeah. But yeah, they definitely have some things that can be fixed for the colorblind options. Like, I love that they put the elites on the maps, the mini map. I love that. I don't know.
They could fix it there. If you have colorblind mode on, just make it a letter instead of a color.
Oh, yeah. Something like that. And then the gem slots, if they can maybe use a shape instead of a color, because they're also,
Yeah,
Leviathan discovered there was a rainbow gem slot where you could put any gem in, which was different than, so there's your topaz, and there was sapphire and aquamarine and ruby, and so there was a gem slot that would be orange-ish, and you could put a topaz, or I don't remember what they all were. I apologize. You could put different items into it, right? That certain gems could go into that color socket.
Yeah.
And Leviathan eventually found rainbow sockets, so you could put any gem in it. And I looked at it and I went, well, there's no way in hell husband's going to be able to see that. That was just, I mean...
Granted, it's hard to even see sockets at all right now on your gear.
True.
Unless you're at the jeweler.
Yes.
But, I don't know.
But still, even at the jeweler, it wasn't...
Gems are always in every game. They have a problem for me. PoE, it's not too bad because red, green, blue is pretty distinct. Or is it red, yellow, blue? I can't remember. I don't have a lot of PoE experience, but they're fairly distinct to me. Also on a much bigger screen. On this tiny little screen, I can't see shit. So making them different shapes would go a long way.
Yeah. For sure. So.
I feel like I've seen a game that did do that. They had like triangle and square and circle. But
Oh.
maybe that was Wilson.
Actually, that's what I was wondering. Was that
do
Wilson?
something right?
Wilson may have done that.
Wow. I think it was Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe. Maybe they did one thing good. I had a lot of hopes for that game.
As far as gems go, you know, there could definitely be some work done, obviously, especially for the colorblind. You know, because I get to deal with it, okay?
Yeah.
I may not be colorblind, but I have to help this guy out,
Yeah,
so.
he plays her game colorblind mode for me. Yeah, it was Wilson.
Was it Wilson?
They got diamonds, hexagons, circles.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
that's for different tiers of gem, I think.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of options that you can do there. So, the other thing that we can talk about real quick, because I see on the screen, is you see lost artifacts. It appears that in each zone, I can't remember what you could do in Vilefin, but in each zone there was some other sort of like long-term side thing that you can do while you're exploring. So here you could do, if you found a mysterious scroll, you could follow this quest line to do it, which was kind of cool.
Beautiful.
Everyone went to the libraries of Zoltankuhl to find the lost pages, and that would give you kind of like a hidden
Portal to a
portal. Yeah. Like kind of like on the order of a puzzle ring, where usually you would get some dust, you might get some good gear, you would get some gold.
Mm-hmm.
And
mostly materials.
You would have, there was, I think I heard there were 5 different rooms you could do. I only got 3 of them. So, but,
you got that really bad one a couple times.
Gosh, I got it so many times and I was like, why is this game broken? And I found out it was just a really bad room. Like, you just didn't get much out of it.
Yeah, that's all bad. Because it took a while to find the pages.
It did.
So to get no benefit from it was like, man, why did I even try?
Yeah, and I got it 3 times in a row, and I was like, okay, I'm doing something wrong, and I kind of stopped it for a long time. Until I questioned other people. I was like, wait, how does this work? Like, why am I not getting anything out of it? What am I doing wrong? Because when I first started the game, even though I was talking to friends in the game, I was not watching their streams. On purpose. Like, if I was in their stream, I was just chatting, and I wasn't really paying attention to what they were doing because I didn't want anything to be ruined for me. So I wanted it all to be fresh. So given that, by the time I got to this point where they had all been, they were like, oh yeah, that one just seems kind of broken. You don't get anything from it. Of course I got 3 times in a row. I guess I should have kept going on it. So then there's like in one of the areas there was like a pollution thing. You cleared the pollution.
Oh, I never did that.
I did. And once you like
so
cleared the pollution, I mean, if you did bounties every day, it only took a couple days. But I mean, like I said, I played a lot more than he did. So
I did bounties almost every day, but it wasn't always in that zone. That's assuming your bounties in that zone.
True. And I mean, I would go looking for layers too. So,
yeah.
I did clear it, and it gives you, what did it give you? It gave you 20 minutes of something. I went, well, I don't want to spend 20 minutes here, and then I left.
You did all that work for nothing.
All that work for nothing. And not, I mean, it's not really all that work for nothing. It may have been more of a,
This is all of it.
if I had been a little bit more experienced in what I was doing, I may have realized how to utilize it better. But, so it's kind of cool. There's these other things that you can also do while you're doing your bounties, while you're looking for layers. It kind of gives you a little bit of a goal to keep grinding in that area if it's something that's good.
Yeah, and that encourages exploration.
It does. And so far, it's kind of cool because the layers, they do give you a lot of experience, but they don't always show up in the same spot.
Yeah.
Whereas, okay, I need to go here in Diablo 3, and I know this is where I'm going. It doesn't work that way.
It's more along the lines of, like, goblin farming. Or,
Yeah.
like, random farming.
Yeah.
There's a chance of it being around here, but it's probably.
Yeah. So that was kind of cool. Unfortunately, I did not play enough to learn the routes like some people did, because they found routes. But you have to play a lot for that. I mean, overall, it was really good.
Yeah.
It was, and like what you guys are seeing here, like it looks good, but I promise you, it looks about 200 times better on your phone. Like, or a tablet. Like, I mean, if you have like a new iPad, that's gonna be pretty baller to play on from the sounds of it. I'll be happy on my phone. There's a good possibility that I'll even be upgrading my phone before the game even comes out. So
There's a very good possibility of that.
so we'll see. But
I was told my old phone wouldn't run the game, so I went out and bought a new phone. And had to deal with doing that while I have COVID. So it was a nightmare. It ended up being fairly easy because I could have them like set the phone down outside the car and then leave, and then I could go grab the phone. So that's what I ended up doing. And it turns out my old phone did run the game. So
yeah, thanks, Adam.
But now I have a fancy new phone, which is cool. And it let us try out the high FPS mode, which looks awesome. It did use about 31% more battery, I think, according to the calculations. I tracked it.
Yeah, he did that. So he has a Samsung S20 Plus.
Yep, 5G.
5G.
We don't have 5G here, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
How much play time did you get on both modes?
Let me pull it up exactly. I got it right here. I'm not misquoting.
I have a Samsung S10 Plus.
Where is it?
He lost it already. And I was not able to play on the high FPS, but I was able to play on the ultra mode, and I mean, it looked so good. Like, even watching this video, I'm like, man, it doesn't do justice for what I was looking at on my phone. And I think I got about 2.5 to 3 hours on a full battery for me on an S10 Plus, which is now a year and a half old. So
Alright, so we'll have to do some extrapolation. In a high FPS, an hour and a half of play used 38% of my battery. On normal, it used 29% of my battery. So, and then on high FPS, I played longer when I was testing this out. I got to 2 hours and 15 minutes on 56% battery. So I could basically go about 4 hours, give or take, on high FPS, most likely. Probably a little less once I got toward the end of the battery life.
right.
Whereas on normal, I could easily go 4.5, 5 hours. So definitely a lot more battery life available on normal. But getting 4 hours on high FPS mode, that's pretty good. It did get pretty hot. I'll say that.
That's
but
what I was gonna say.
Not like so hot that I was worried about it. Just pretty warm.
And
Way warmer than normal. Well, normal it felt cold touch the whole time.
I was gonna say, like, I played and charged on different chargers, because I did it through obviously this capture card.
Not capture card, the HDMI output hub thing.
Yeah, that thing. Whatever I was using to put it onto OBS. That's all his area, you guys.
It's a USB-C hub with HDMI.
When I was using that, it didn't get hot at all. And then I could switch over to like the high-speed charger or the quick charger, whatever they call it. That didn't feel hot either. Like, it was like no big deal. It was like, okay, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see.
And that might be our phones. Like my Pixel 3 used to get really hot when I was playing almost anything, especially if I was charging at the same time.
Okay.
And this one just doesn't.
Okay.
So
maybe Samsung just does it well.
Maybe.
So, because I know
the mileage may vary. I know some of the iPhone people said when they had high FPS mode on, it was like super hot.
I feel like the only person who said it wasn't that bad was Leviathan with his.
He couldn't.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
There was a bug in the game right now where at the 12, I think is the newest iPhone, the 12 can't have high FPS enabled for some reason, even though it can clearly handle it. So the best way to play the game right now was on an 11 Max.
Okay.
Which I think is what SBR had.
Okay.
I believe. I could be wrong. But that was the highest graphical quality way to play at the moment on iPhone. Yeah, I had max settings, high FPS. No problem.
Yeah.
I think when I did try on the Pixel 3, it wasn't on ultra settings. I think it was on high instead. But it still felt really smooth.
Yeah.
It didn't look that different.
Be wary. Inside
so we've been talking for about an hour now.
Kingdom hid many terrible secrets.
And we've only gained 3 levels.
Ones that prefer to remain hidden.
So,
Secrets buried in the sands.
like, I mean, if you guys like a grindy game,
Many an
this is gonna be good.
I guess we didn't really notice it because we were getting story content.
Yeah, well, and then we were obviously chatting for so long, trying to swear in game. It wouldn't let us.
Which words will allow through? Nothing.
Hell and damn, because those are the words that they use in
the game.
In the game.
All right, we're going to good place words now.
I think that's about it, guys. I think we touched base on everything we kind of wanted to talk to you about in more details. If you do have any questions of anything we talked about, go ahead, drop a comment, leave it below. We'll answer it ASAP.
She will.
We will. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope after BlizzCon line we'll have some more information about when maybe betas are coming, or maybe more trial periods, or
I'm sure they'll have something for us.
I'm hoping we're gonna get something new, because man, I'm so excited about this game. I'm ready for it to be out.
It's out in the wild now, so they've got to do something.
I know, like, and I mean, virtual school is indefinite at this point, so I'm like, please be soon. So thank you guys, and we will see you soon. Have a good one.